Hello, and welcome to Configuring CICS Transaction Gateway for zOS Monitoring in CA SYSVIEW. Here is an agenda for the video. First, we will cover an overview of CICS Transaction Gateway, or referred to as CTG, monitoring in CA SYSVIEW. The second half of this video will cover configuring CTG monitoring within SYSVIEW. For more information on the CTG commands available within SYSVIEW and how to use them, see the video titled Using the CA SYSVIEW component for CICS Transaction Gateway for zOS. SYSVIEW provides several commands to display real-time CTG information. This includes information about your gateway daemons, CICS server connections, web services, logical servers, connection managers, worker threads, protocol handlers, and the system environment. These commands provide real-time performance statistics including response times, request counts, failures, amongst many more. You can also see static configuration information on these displays. Not only can you display information, but you can also take actions against your CTG instances directly from within SYSVIEW. For example, you can start and stop IPIC connections to CICS servers. You can reset the CTG's health value. You can also immediately shut down the address space, plus many more actions. Finally, you can view and format SMF type 111 records that are written by your CTG instances. The CTG monitoring is included in the CA SYSVIEW option for CICS. So, if you want to make use of the CTG monitoring in SYSVIEW, you must have this option licensed. Since a CTG daemon running on zOS is a JVM, we are able to use our JVM data collector agent technology in order to monitor these CTG instances. The CTG monitoring functionality was delivered in a feature PTF in SYSVIEW version 16.0. SYSVIEW supports CTG versions 9.1.0 and newer. It's important to note that CTG instances can be deployed in multiple topologies. SYSVIEW supports CTG instances deployed in a remote mode topology, meaning that the CTG daemon is running on zOS. Here is a high-level checklist of items that need to be done in order to fully configure CTG monitoring in CA SYSVIEW. We will dive into more detail in each one of these items in the slides that follow. The first step in configuring CTG monitoring is making sure that you have the correct options and features enabled in CA SYSVIEW. In order to enable and disable features, you use the System Configuration Options member. You can use the libs command within SYSVIEW to display the dataset name where the System Configuration Options member lives. You must have component CTG set to yes in the System Configuration Options member. Because we are using our JVM data collector agent technology, you must also have component JVM set to yes. Finally, even though CTG monitoring is included in CA SYSVIEW option for CICS, you do not have to have option CICS set to yes. You can have it set to yes or no, and you will still have full CTG monitoring functionality within SYSVIEW. You can use the features display within SYSVIEW to find out which options and components were enabled. Use the selected field to find out which components and options were enabled. You can use the systems command within SYSVIEW to display what features are enabled for each of your connected systems. Because we are using our JVM data collector agent technology, the JVM data task must be active under the main SYSVIEW address space. You can use the ASAdmin display within SYSVIEW to check the status of the JVM data task. If the task is not active, you can use the start line command to start the JVM data task. Next, we need to configure the CA SYSVIEW JVM data collector agent in the CTG instance. In order to do this, we need to first locate the USS path where the agent was defined. The CA SYSVIEW install job INST0006 job was the install job that defined the directory where the data collector agent resides. You can check our TechDoc site for more information on this install job. The default paths are displayed on the screen. It's important to note that this install job allows the user to define their own runtime paths, meaning the default paths can be changed. Once the path to the agent is known, we can then configure the agent within the CTG instance. You can follow these instructions found on our TechDoc site under the Configure the JVM Data Collector Agent article. What needs to be done is you need to find the file where the CTG environment variables are defined. Then you need to modify the CTG start _ops option and add a path to our agent. Once the path is defined, you can then restart the CTG and our JVM data collector agent will begin to monitor your CTG instance. By default, once the agent is configured in the CTG, only base JVM monitoring is available. In order to provide real-time CTG statistics, you must pass the mon-CTG option to the CA SYSVIEW JVM agent. By default, this option is set to disable, which means that no CTG monitoring will be available within SYSVIEW. However, you can still use displays like JVM threads and JVM heaps to display general JVM information. The mon-CTG option also accepts the value enable, which means that CTG monitoring will fully be enabled within SYSVIEW and you can view real-time information about your CTG instances using our SYSVIEW displays. Here is an example of a CTG start ops option that could be coded in a CTG environment variables file. This option includes a path to our SysView agent, the SSID of the SysView instance where the JVM data task is running, and also the mon-CTG option set to enable. The mon-CTG field on the CTG list display shows the current SysView monitoring status within the CTG. This same value can be found in the information area on the other CTG commands. This value represents the monitoring status of the current target CTG address space. The mon-CTG field can have the values displayed on the screen. Full CTG monitoring is not available until the mon-CTG field has the value initialized. There are several CTG commands available within SysView. A list of them are displayed on the screen. For more information and a demonstration of all of these commands, see the video titled Using the CA SYSVIEW component for CICS Transaction Gateway for zOS. There exist two CTG security command groups. GSV CTG contains all of the CTG commands. GSV CTG-A contains only CTG commands that can alter resources within the CTG. You can use these security command groups to allow or restrict access to the CTG commands. SysView provides a CTG log command that will display a log of SMF111 records that have been written by CTG instances. Like other log commands within SysView, the source of these records must be a log stream. There exists a CICS Transaction Gateway SMF records topic on the CA SYSVIEW topics command, which contains information about how to configure the CTG to write records, what can be used as a source for the records, and how to view the records. After the CTG instance is configured to write SMF records, a log stream is needed to actually hold the SMF records that are written. You can view the CTG SMF records help topic discussed in the previous slide to view multiple log stream types that can be used as a source for these records. The recommended approach that we make is using CA SYSVIEW's dynamic SMF logstream browsing component. This was delivered in a PTF in SysView release 16.0. The CA SysView event capture option must be licensed in order to use this DSLB component. DSLB is the recommended approach because it allows for easy management of what SMF record types get logged to each log stream. The CTG log command will only display SMF 111 records. If there are other record types in the same log stream that contain the 111 records, the CTG log command can possibly produce extra overhead as it needs to filter only the SMF 111 records. The first step in using DSLB is either to define a new log stream or possibly use an existing one. There exists an article on our TechDoc site titled Create and Modify Dynamic SMF Log Streams and Browsing Definitions that contains sample JCL for defining log streams. The DSMF logs display shows the dynamic SMF log streams that have been defined to SysView. We can use the add subcommand to add an existing log stream in a description to DSLB. Once the log stream is defined and added, it will be displayed on the DSMF logs display. By default, once a log stream is added to DSLB, there will be no record types logged to this log stream. The log subcommand can be used to add different record type and subtypes to the log stream. You can use the types field on this display to see what record types are being logged to each log stream. By default, once the log stream is defined to DSLB, it is put into an inactive state. It must be enabled in order for DSLB to actively log the different record types to the log stream. We can see the status field for whether the log stream is active or inactive. The SMF data parmlib member indicates if DSLB should be using cold or warm starts. If warm starts are indicated, the previous slides that describe using the add and log subcommands on the DSMF logs display can be used, and your definitions will persist throughout your warm starts. If cold starts are indicated, you must update the SVW v DSLB parmlib member in order to persist your DSLB definitions. An example definition is seen on the screen. Like the other log stream browsing commands within SysView, CTG log will read from CA SysView's LG lookup parmlib member in order to determine which log stream should be read from by default. We can see an example LG lookup definition in the bottom of the screen. CTG log also accepts a stream parameter that can be passed to the command that can override what log stream should be read from. Once the configuration items on the list are completed, the CTG monitoring in SysView will be fully enabled. You can begin to take advantage of the real-time statistics and configuration information provided by the CA SYSVIEW displays.